Hello, my name is Andy Marino, and the topic I chose to do for my presentation was same-sex relationships. So to start off, I would like to talk about how sexuality is very fluid. In a survey conducted on 8,000 college students, 87 reported only being attracted to the opposite sex, 1% reported only being attracted to the same sex, and 12% reported attraction to both sexes. However, when asked their sexual identification, only 1% identified as bisexual. And this is a very good example how often people's thoughts, feelings, and desires differ from their sexual identification. Homosexual relationships and heterosexual relationships are more similar than they are different. However, there are a few differences, such as more value inequality, fewer built-in power dynamics because often homosexual relationships have partners of the same gender, and there is equal division in household tasks and more effective problem solving. The definition of sexual minority is a group whose sexual identity, orientation, or practices differ from the majority of the surrounding society. And existence as non-heteronormative couple can lead to differences in relationship dynamics, such as same-sex couples are more likely to cohabitate rather than legally marry. There is increased tension due to fears of being outed between partners, insecurity in relationship due to internalized homophobia, reluctance to show intimacy in public, lower levels of social support from friends and family, and a higher likelihood of maintaining contact with a partner after a breakup. So for my first example, Jonathan and Michael have been in a relationship for 4 years. Jonathan has a good relationship with his family, but is reluctant to divulge his relationship with Michael due to his family's conservative political and religious beliefs. Michael was originally supportive of Jonathan's feelings, but after many years of a serious relationship and Michael wanting to consider marriage, Jonathan's fear of his family's reaction is starting to make Michael feel undervalued and embarrassed. It has been a frequent topic of fights between the couple over the past few months. So I made that example to demonstrate two topics talked about in this chapter. The first being the fear of being outed and the tension that can cause in a relationship. Jonathan and Michael are very happy together, and though Jonathan has a good relationship with his family, he is afraid to tell them about his sexuality, and that is causing tension between the two. And also lower levels of support of the relationship, and in this case, this is just the fear of it, but Jonathan is very valid in his feelings that he would lose that positive relationship with his family if he were to tell him about his long-term relationship with another man. So I'm going to play a video as an example for my next topic that I'm going to cover.
These people aren't fun. Do you want a boyfriend? Do you want to find someone to be in love with?
I mean, I love being in love, but I don't.
Do you want to get married?
No.
I
No.
think marriage is the killer of relationships.
Yeah. You want to get married? Well, I'll get married if we can maintain separate residences and bedrooms and maybe see each
Like
other.
Helena Bonham Carter and John C. Reilly.
Oh, okay.
They're not married.
Okay, perfect. That's even better.
Isn't
So this is a more humorous example of homosexual people and homosexual couples being less likely to consider marriage as an option, but I also have this other example I came up with. Jessica and Taylor have been living together for 10 years. Before the 2015 Supreme Court ruling, their state did not recognize same-sex marriage. Both of their families are supportive and they have been very successful in their relationship. However, Jessica and Taylor have no plans of marriage. They feel that marriage is a heterosexual practice that is rooted in misogyny, and since they have no children and no serious health conditions, they do not see a real reason for it. So this one is an example, like I said earlier, of lower levels of legal marriage between homosexual couples than heterosexual ones. This is just one possible reason that this couple would not be considering marriage, but there are many different ones, some just being preferences, but this does demonstrate lower levels of possibly why there would be lower levels of marriage in homosexual relationships. I hope this presentation was helpful and interesting, and thank you so much for watching and listening.